What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here, and for my type of video today, this is going to be a video expressing, in my opinion, my favourite albums of 2012 so far. I know there are some people on YouTube that have done this type of video for their YouTube users, so let's just get on with my list of my favourite albums of 2012 so far. So the first one is Cannibal Corpse's new album, Torture. Cannibal Corpse was one of those death metal bands that I really got into, and I also got into Suffocation as well, and Cannibal Corpse has been one of the best selling death metal bands of all time out there, besides Suffocation and Morbid Angel and all sorts of death metal bands, and Cannibal Corpse is also involved. The whole entire album is a mind-blowing experience of pure brutal insanity of death metal from start to finish, all the way through all of these Cannibal Corpse albums and all of the other death metal albums out there from different bands. So if you are a big death metal fanatic, or if you're a big Cannibal Corpse fan, then I guess all of you guys really enjoyed the album. If you like all sorts of death metal, I kind of like some death metal, but I'm not a big fanatic of the genre, but I just like some. But Cannibal Corpse is my inspiration of death metal to me, and their new album completely blew me away. This is their best album in my opinion, just like I said in my album review, and if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. The next one is the new Anti-Flag release, The General Strike. Anti-Flag has been one of those punk bands that never goes out of style of their music, and it's a great way to create punk music that is just basically raw and heavy and aggressive. Well, Anti-Flag is like that, just non-stop crazy ass punk from beginning to end, and this album is just basically as good as all of the other Anti-Flag albums throughout their whole career. And my favourite album from the band is from Blood and Empire, and that's just me. And a lot of the band's discography have been really successful from the fans and for some of the critics as well. And definitely check out The General Strike. And some people might say that punk is dead. Well, I just don't get that exactly, but that's just the way they create their own type of punk music. For examples like NoFX and also the Sex Pistols and all sorts. And Anti-Flag can create their own punk music for their own way. So yeah, and if you haven't checked out Anti-Flag, definitely listen to a lot of their albums and even The General Strike, and you will like Anti-Flag by them. And I'm also a really big fan of punk. Punk has been one of my favourite music genres of all time. So yeah, The General Strike by Anti-Flag is another great album to pick up. The next one is Meatloaf's Hell in a Handbasket. Meatloaf completely blew my ass away with this album, and it's just like every album that he had done with these additional musicians out there, just to create some wonderful, awesome music throughout Meatloaf's solo career. Although there's been some different stuff that have been added by a lot of different songs throughout Meatloaf's discography, well, it's just purely amazing of what the music had become for the solo career for Meatloaf, and everything in this album and all the other albums from Meatloaf are just pure genius, and I really enjoyed this album. And if you are a big fanatic of Meatloaf, and if you like all sorts of different types of rock music, then Hell in a Handbasket could be the perfect album for you. Or there could be some other good rock albums for solo artists out there. So yeah, Hell in a Handbasket by Meatloaf is, in my opinion, a great return to Meatloaf, and definitely check it out. The next one is Rise of the Phoenix by Tenacious D. Tenacious D is absolutely brilliant for comedy rock. I know there are some people out there who do not like Tenacious D or not fanatics of this album very much, but in my opinion this album is just purely great. I really enjoyed this album. It's basically the same good old Tenacious D that's been happening a lot of times throughout their whole career, from their shows on HBO and their first album and their second album, The Pick of Destiny, and also Rise of the Phoenix. If you like all sorts of different crazy ass rock artists out there, then Tenacious D could be a great one for you. And also like Weird Al and the Bloodhound Gang and all sorts. Tenacious D's new album is absolutely brilliant, a mind-blowing album to me, and check it out if you haven't yet. The next one is Fire from the Sky by Shadows Fall. This is Shadows Fall's triumph of return for making brilliant albums, since they've been making all sorts of different albums for their discography. You know, The War Within and Threads of Life and Retribution, all sorts of great albums from the band. And Fire from the Sky is the same old Shadows Fall. They've been happening over and over, but it's just awesome for their whole material, of their creativity, of their own style of metal. This album really rocked my head off. This album has been involving some different types of music genres, involving like thrash metal and metalcore as well. There has been some really good, fantastic metal of their own style, of the riffs and the guitar solos and the vocals and the brutal drumming. Shadows Fall's Fire from the Sky is a fantastic album. And the last one is the new album from the French band Gojira, Lenfant, Sauvage. This new album is definitely one of my very, very top favorite metal albums I've ever heard, and my very top favorites of this year, besides Cannibal Corpse's Torture and Rise of the Phoenix by Tenacious D, and there is more. So Gojira's new album is absolutely insane. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing all the way through. Their music has been really dark and really harshly aggressive. They've been making a lot of these songs to make this whole experience of really good, brutal heaviness throughout all the songs on the album. And Gojira, once again, was one of those bands that I really do idolize, and I enjoyed a lot of their albums. Well, L'Enfant Sauvage is basically one of my favorite albums from the band, and if you haven't come across it, it's gonna completely blow your ass away. Just like the other metal albums out there, you know, from different metal bands, and L'Enfant Sauvage will be like that. L'Enfant Sauvage by Gojira is a really cool, excellent metal album from the band, and their discography has been fantastic. So that's my video of my favorite albums of 2012 so far, and tell me what you think of my list and leave your comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted. Rock on, guys.